Kendrick Nunn has looked like an absolute stud for the Lakers and is going to be a real X factor coming this season. Now, he's a guy I've been so high on. I've talked so much and spoke so highly on Kendrick Nunn and his potential with this team. I'm glad he's not making me look bad, right? Because if you followed this channel for a while, you know I've been very high on Kendrick Nunn. Now, I have in the past, of course, said, like, hey, if they had to trade him for a specific wing player, stuff like that, I understand it's a specific need, but if they kept Nunn, he could be a real X factor. I've even talked about how a lot of the stuff that we would have gotten from Kyrie Irving, Kendrick Nunn can do. Now, I'm not saying that they're comparable. Kyrie Irving is elite level. He's a guy that can completely take over a game, change the course of a game, single-handedly win a game, stuff like that. But Kendrick Nunn can be a Kyrie light, a guy that can shoot the ball, can play on the ball, can play off the ball, can attack the basket, can finish at the rim, all of those things. And that's what we're seeing with him and the Lakers. He's been very, very solid for this team. He had 21 points in 19 minutes off the bench for the Lakers. Still gave you 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 4-7 from 3, so he showed that shooting that we all know that he's capable of. He only had 1 turnover, which I love to see. He's just been a real bright spot so far on this team for the Lakers. Now, of course, 2 games of preseason. Again, I say it over and over again, and I will say it again. Can't get too high on the highs, can't get too low on the lows. We got to see how it adjusts. But you're seeing consistency with Kendrick Nunn. I mean, even the first game, he was 4-7 from the field, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Now, he did have 5 turnovers, which that was rough. But to his credit, that happened when he was in the game with Max Christie, Cole Swider, like all of the young guys when he was playing with them. He was good before that. And then yesterday's game, he looked good again and didn't have any. Now, the third game this season is tonight, or at least, well, depending on when you watch this video. And that is another really big test. I'm interested to see if the big 3 play for the Lakers, and if they do, how much. Kendrick Nunn may get a little more burn than usual, which I would be more than happy to welcome. I would love to see like what he can do, kind of allow him to kind of run the show a little bit and kind of give us that insight. I think Kendrick Nunn has all the potential in this world, in the world with this team, right? He was the big acquisition last year, right? Everybody was like, how did the Lakers get Kendrick Nunn for, the taxpayer mid-level? How did that happen? He's young, he's good. He was a starting point guard on a finals team. He wasn't afraid of the moment. He's a guy that can give you, 20 points a game if you need him to, but he's been around, 15 a game for his career, which I think he'll be a 15-point-a-game guy again for the Lakers this year. And it's one of those things that, like, I really think he's going to carve a really nice spot on this roster and be that guy for this team. He can start, he can come off the bench, however you want to shake it with him. He's a guy that I think is so versatile for this team. He's solid defensively. He's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's solid. He's definitely can play defense. We've seen that so far in the preseason, and he's just been a real bright spot. I even said, outside of Russ and, the big 3 as a whole, Kendrick Nunn is our best player. Front to back, he's our best player. And he's showing that so far. I mean, he just looks so calm, so skilled, so comfortable out there. I mean, all of them do, to be fair. We even did a video diving into Russ. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out. I'll even link that video in the description for you to check it out, because Russ deserves a ton of credit. But we got a lot of guard depth. And Kendrick Nunn, I think, is the biggest standout of all, because he's the best shooter out of all of them. He's a guy that can get to the hoop just like a Schroeder he can. His defense is not bad. Like I said, it's on par with most of the guys defensively on this team. And I do think that he's a guy that can... I wouldn't be shocked if he was the 6th man of the year, depending on how much he comes off the bench. I wouldn't be shocked if he starts and he's our 3rd consistent scorer. I wouldn't be shocked if he's, giving us 15 a game and Russ is giving us 15 a game. You got LeBron giving us 25. You got, again, the issue with this team isn't going to be scoring. We have several guys that can give you 20 points night in and night out. You got the big 3. You got Nunn, Schroeder has shown it before. I mean, Thomas Bryant had a couple like monster games, although he kind of looks a little awkward out there right now. But a lot of that could just be, a tribute to just the injury he's coming off of last year. So that's a big thing. It might take him a little bit to kind of get his legs under him. And when he does, he's another guy that could be that guy that could go get you, 20 points a night in and night out. And I'm just glad and happy with what I'm seeing. I think we really have a really solid team, a really solid structure. And I think it's nice to see Kendrick Nunn kind of being a standout in those moments, in these games. Like, you visibly see how good Kendrick Nunn has been for this team. And I want to see that continue. Again, it's preseason, so I don't want to get too high on it. But I mean, he's been on par with what he's done his whole career. Like, this isn't like, oh, wow, I didn't see that coming. Like, that's an anomaly. No, this is him. This is who he is. He was 8 for 13 from the field as a whole. Like, that's him. He's that guy. He can knock down shots. He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. The guy is just a hooper. And we really need a guy like him. And the big key is him staying healthy, right? But it's what I've said from day one. Like, everybody who is anybody all said he was healthy and fine and 100%. And you had a couple media reports that came out and said, he's not running 5-on-5s, this, that, and the other. He's not really healthy. And everyone just ran away with it. Everybody was like, oh, he's not. And I said time and time again, who would know more? The media or Kendrick Nunn's doctors and the team and Kendrick Nunn himself? Like, everybody's saying he's 100%. Like, why not believe him? Like, what does he gain by lying? What does he gain by just making that up? He's going to have to prove he's 100%, a week from now, at that point. It's like, it made no sense for them to say that he was healthy and he wasn't. So it was like, of course he is. Just because he's not running 5-on-5s, who cares? And I understand people, I need to see it to believe it type thing, but now you're saying it. So I hope now you believe it. It's just, I really am high on Kendrick Nunn. I've been high on Kendrick Nunn from day one. Now, I understand, again, I said, I'm not against a trade if it's for the needs that we need. Because we do really need a solid wing depth defender. And if there is one that is very valuable on the market, I mean, he's our best trade chip, right? So, I mean, if you can't trade Russ, what do you do? Now, I am all for keeping this team intact as is and giving it time, giving that sample size. Because I think Kendrick Nunn has huge, huge value on this team. The beauty of him being able to play off the ball, I think really gives him a ton of value on this team. Because now, he's a guy that can, he can play the 2 spot. He can play the 1 spot. He can play off of Russ. He can play off of LeBron. He can play off of Schroeder. He can play off of, whoever, Austin Reeves, whoever you need. And he can also initiate the offense. And so that's the beauty, too, is that regardless of who he's on the court with, if at any point he gets the rebound, he doesn't have to kick it out to somebody. He can immediately just go from a rebound to initiating the offense and running the show. Like, there's value in that as well. Having multiple guys on the court that can just get the rebound and just go. They don't have to wait for the point guard to come back and catch up and stuff like that. Like, that is huge. And I really think Kendrick Nunn is going to continue to just show his promise and show what he can do on this team. And I really think he's going to be a big key contributing factor for this team. I really think he's going to be a guy that we're going to look back at and just go, man, like, he was the dude. Like, we need to keep him. We need to do whatever it takes. Problem is, he's probably going to play himself out of our price range, which sucks. It would have been nice to have him for a couple seasons, but hopefully we can be pretty good this season, and Kendrick Nunn can help kind of be a part of that and help kind of lead that charge. Because we probably have one shot with him, if we're being honest, unless he's willing to take a discount. But I mean, he already would have gotten probably $15 million from a team, and that was the big thing. That's why people were like, "What?" Like, and supposedly he even had offers. But the good thing is is that if Malik Monk and that whole experiment, and then you see Kendrick Nunn, and like let's say maybe Walker also, you got these guys who used the Lakers spotlight, took less money than they could have gotten, used the Lakers spotlight, and ended up turning that into like a real contract. You could see a lot of young players doing that going forward, just using the Lakers brand as a spotlight to bet on yourself, to be able to put yourself in a position to get a real check. I think that is something that we could see a trend of. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of Kendrick Nunn? You excited for him? Do you think he looks great? Do you think he doesn't? Do you think, let's wait and see? How do you feel as a whole? I mean, again, of course, he needs to stay healthy throughout the season. If he can, I really think he is going to be one of the big factors in our success this season. But, how do you feel about him? Are you excited for him? Do you like what you've gotten so far? Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between, however you feel, whatever you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in. Quick little shameless plug, everyone. If you enjoy my videos and commentary here on this channel, As It Stands Lakers, then check out the link down in the description below and go subscribe to As It Stands. Believe it or not, As It Stands was the first channel. If it wasn't for that channel, this channel would never have existed. Because of the success of that channel, it led me to want to create this Lakers channel. So do me a huge solid. If you're not subscribed over there, go check that out. Go subscribe over there. I talk all things sports, all teams, things like that, not just the Lakers. So if you just enjoy my commentary and want to hear me talk about other things, or you just, are a fan of other sports and other teams, go check that out. I promise you will not be disappointed. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.